Let's talk about justice today. We have an administration coming in that is not concerned about justice for the American people. Again, this is not political. I'm an independent. This is not about one candidate over another candidate. This is just about the impact of policy changes, the impact of certain executive orders, and what will happen now in the United States. So I want to go back and talk a little bit about justice and why human beings, why Americans in particular, need to care about justice for other people. First, there's the evolutionary part, which is that Homo sapiens, our species, is pretty fragile. We don't have thick skin. We don't have defensive mechanisms like talons or venom. We are pretty easy to kill. The way that our species has survived throughout history, the only reason we're the only human species still standing is because of our ability to empathize, our ability to collaborate, our willingness to help out other humans, even when there's nothing in it for us. So because we do that, because we protect communities, that means a tiger can't come to your village night after night after night and drag somebody out. At some point, even if they're not the person being dragged out, other people are going to get together to protect the community. That social compact is falling apart right now. And I want to explain just how dangerous that is in very, very current terms. Because when you start taking away rights and protections from other people, sometimes it feels like you're getting one over on them. You don't like them. You don't like their policies, their lifestyles. That may all be true. Maybe you don't even agree with them on a very fundamental level. So you think it's okay to remove their protections, to make them vulnerable, to allow them to be punished even unfairly and unjustly. When we do things like that, when we allow these systems to fall apart, these systems that are designed to protect everybody, regardless of whether we like them or agree with them or not, we are putting ourselves and our families in very real danger. And we have seen this over and over. The reason why I have this Victories for the Working Class up is because if you go back through American history, you will find so many times when particular laws were put in place, particular protections were put in place to protect a certain group of people, but it ended up protecting everyone. Think about the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, right? It was 1911. There were all these women working to create shirtwaists, little pieces of clothing. And there was a fire. But in order to keep these women at their sewing machines, the managers had locked the doors. They didn't have any fire escapes. And so nearly 150 people burnt to death. Now, if you were one of their if that was your mother, if that was your wife, if that was somebody that you loved and cared for, you would very justifiably ask, how could we let this happen? Why would we care so little for other people's safeties that we would lock them inside a building and not even consider that that was dangerous? And so laws were put into place. So now imagine that we see there's a certain demographic, maybe we think it's immigrants, maybe we think it's black and brown people who do a particular job. And we say, I don't care if you make that job less safe. Go ahead, they deserve it for whatever reason. But what you don't realize is that all of these protections that are put in place not only were in there for a reason because somebody got hurt unjustly, because someone was killed unfairly, but also they end up having a protective effect on everybody so that maybe you don't have to learn the hard way that a particular policy, rule, regulation is unfair, or that corporations have too much latitude. We are in a particular place in time where the current administration wants to give a lot of latitude to corporations. They want to take the guardrails off. And guardrails is a great metaphor here because guardrails are there to protect your life. There's a reason why they have to put railings along stairways. That's to protect your safety. And we learned that the hard way because people got hurt. We tend to not think about other people's pain and then connect it to our own. But I urge you to think for just a moment that the the happiness you feel when you see someone you don't like lose protection, lose rights, history tells us, history going back centuries tells us that happiness is extremely short-lived. All of those protections that we have relied on, once they're removed, it's not easy to put them back. It usually takes something like a Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, a tragedy where people die. And when the guardrails are off, it doesn't matter who's driving the car. Someone's going to get hurt. That guardrail was there to protect everybody. So that's what justice is about. And in order for justice to work, you have to be ready to seek justice for others, because eventually you will want justice, you will need it, and you will be very sorry if you have dismantled it. Have a good day. As always, please be kind.